Namaste everyone. Good evening all the teachers that today we are going to have the next theme and how we are going to implement SDG goals, then 21st century skills, multiple intelligence, all these in the same theme, how we are going to plan a day that we are going to see in today's session. Namaste all, welcome you all to the session. Let me share my screen.
මම දැන් දෙවෙනි සෙෂන් එක පටන් ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඒකේ මේ myself ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. මම මේ සතිය ලෙසන් එක ගැන දැන් කතා කරන්නේ.
I request all the teachers to be a part of the session. In a minute, we'll share the screen. Namaste everyone. Welcome you all to this session that is for the theme myself. We are going to practically how we are going to implement SDG goals, multiple intelligence, 21st century skills, how we are going to implement all these in our lesson plans and how we are going to practically give these valuable things to our children. We are going to see in this session. Namaste. To introduce myself, I am Padhmaja Y V, a kindergarten teacher. I'm very passionate about the lesson plans and how to implement them in our classroom is my goal. I'm also an early reading innovator. That is, my passionate subject is phonics. Each and every child must be able to read so that the child can gain much knowledge from the books. I'm also a content creator and an video editor. Today's topic that we are going to see is theme myself. The sub-themes are introducing ourselves. Then the next day will be my family, relatives, and the child's hobbies, how we are going to bring in, and the child's talents, how we are going to find out is our goal to identify today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. අද අපේ තේමාව myself. myself එකේ ළමයා ගැන මම ගැන හඳුන්වා දීම, මගේ පවුල, මගේ නෑදෑයෝ, මගේ hobby, මගේ විනෝදාංශය, මගේ දක්ෂතාවයන්. මෙතනින් කොහොමද ඉස්මතු කරගන්නේ, කොහොමද පෙන්නුම් කරන්න දෙන්නේ? ඒ ලෙසන් එක තමයි අපි අද ඉගෙන ගන්නේ. Yes ma'am. Pasmina miss.
Yes ma'am. இன்றைக்கு வந்து எங்களோட தலைப்பு வந்து myself வந்து myself, my family, my relatives, my hobby, my talents. இந்த ஐந்தும் எங்களோட சப் தீம்ஸ். அதை வந்து எங்களுக்கு மேம் விளக்கப்படுத்துவாங்க. மேம்.
Yes, thank you ma'am. Thank you Fasmina ma'am and Shiroza ma'am for your translations that teachers are able to understand easily.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you ma'am.
In my country, we have seen for each themes how we are going to implement each and every, it might be learning outcomes or 21st century skills. Teachers might have got an idea. In myself, what I have done is for each day, how we are going to categorize so that the teachers can take out all these things and immediately implement in their lesson plans. First day is introduction. The child should know who or who she is. It is like, my name is. The child, when we ask her or his name, the child will say Padhmaja, or whoever. When we ask the child's name, the child might say the name of a child. But when it comes to language, here what we have to do is we will have to make the child speak in sentence. That is what our national standards also say, how we are going to implement literacy. Literacy doesn't mean that whatever the activities we are doing, we will have to uh, make the child fluently speak properly in a sentence. Yes, ma'am.
අපේ අද තීම් එක myself එක. myself එක මණ්ඩේ ගත්තම මණ්ඩේ ගැන මණ්ඩේ සම්දට අපි ගන්නේ ළමයා ගැන හැඳින්වීමක් දීමක්. ඒ කියන්නේ who am I? Who is she? එයා කවුද? ඒතකොට බබා ළමයි අනිවාර්යෙන් ළමයා කවුද කියලා ළමයාගේ නම කියනවා. නම විතරයි ළමයා කියන්නේ. හැම ළමයාගේ නම කියනවා. ඒතකොට අපි කරන්න ඕනේ ළමයා ඒක sentence එකක් වාක්‍යයක් විදියට ළමයා පුරුදු කරලා ගන්න ඕනේ. මගේ නම my name is සම්පූර්ණයෙන් කියලා ළමයාට. ඒතකොට ළමයාගේ භාෂාවේ හැකියාව අපිට වර්ධනය කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක අනිවාර්යයෙන් බබාගේ එක මෙතන සඳ දවසේ අපිට ඒක හදන්න පුළුවන්. ළමයාගේ නම ආවම ළමයා එයාගෙන හඳුනා දීමේදී සම්පූර්ණ වාක්‍යයකින් උත්තර දෙන්න ළමයාට පුරුදු කරන්න. පස්මිනා මිස්.
Yes, ma'am. Myself பத்தி சப் தீம் வந்து எங்கட myself அதுல வந்து என்ன பத்தி நான் திங்கட்கிழமைக்கு வந்து அறிமுகப்படுத்துறது வந்து அப்ப உங்களோட பேர் என்னான்னு கேட்கிட்ட குழந்தை வந்து என்னோட பேர் என்று சொல்லி முழுமையா சொல்லும் அது அது ஒரு வாக்கியமாக மாறும். அந்த நேரத்துக்கு அந்த புள்ள வந்து பேசுறதுக்கு கற்றுக்கொள்ளும். அந்த டைம் வந்து மொழி வளர்ச்சி ஏற்படுகிறது அந்த இடத்துல வந்து. இப்போ மை செல்ஃப் வரும்போது பேர் அந்த மாதிரி வாக்கியம் பேசுறதுக்கு அந்த குழந்தை வந்து கற்றுக்கொள்ளும். மேம்.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Here, what is the learning outcome that we are going to find out? Here, the child should be able to tell his or her name. And the child has to say, I am 4-year-old. I am a boy. I am a girl. The child has to discriminate the gender. And basic self-introduction, that is, I come from, what is the name of my area? What is the phone number of a parent? It might be father or mother. The child should be able to say, yes, this will not be able to complete in a day, but at least when we give this introduction, parents have to implement all these and they will have to teach the children the basic introduction. The child has to tell the name of the school. Excuse me. The child has to say which class he or she is studying. These are the basic learning outcomes of a day, that is Monday.
සඳ දවසේ learning outcoming එකට අපි ළමයාගේ නමාන වගේම ළමයාගේ වයස. ඒක ළමයා සම්පූර්ණයෙන් කියන්නේ මගේ වයස මම ගෑන් ළමෙක් මම පිරු ළමෙක්. ඒ වගේ සම්පූර්ණ උත්තරේ ළමයට අපිට කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඇත්තටම මේක අපිට එක දවසේ කරන්න බෑ. එක දවසේ කරන්න බැරි වුණත් අපිට දෙමව්පියෝම දැනුවත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැනුවත් කරොත් දෙමව්පියොත් අපිට මේ උදව් කරනවා මේක ළමයට පුරුදු කරන්න. මේක outcome එකක් ලස්සන දෙක ඇදලා එනවා. ළමයා සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ළමයා ගැන කියන්න, ළමයාගේ වයස ගැන කියන්න, ළමයාගේ ජෙන්ඩර් ගැන කියන්න ළමයා ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. පස්සේ මිස්.
Yes, ma'am. அடுத்தது வந்து லேர்னிங் அவுட்கம். இதுல வந்து புள்ளோட பெயர் கேட்கிற நேரம் அவங்களோட வயது, அடுத்தது வந்து ஆண் பெண் ஊரோட பெயர் அந்த மாதிரி ஃபோன் நம்பர் அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாம் கற்றுக்கொள்ளும். அதை கேட்குற நேரம் அதை வந்து எங்களுக்கு பெற்றோரையும் சம்பந்தப்படுத்தி எங்களுக்கு சம்மந்தப்படுத்தி கொள்ள முடியும். அது வந்து எங்களுக்கு அந்த அறிமுகப்படுத்தின அன்றைக்கு அந்த நாளைக்கும் செய்யலும் அடுத்த நாளும் தொடர்ந்து செய்ய முடியும் என்று மேம் சொல்றாங்க. மேம்.
Yes. What are the values Here, self awareness will be there. The child is going to build a confidence. When we ask a question to a child, when he or she answers, their confidence builds. The next is, what is the 21st century skill that the child is going to attain in the whole day? That is, the child is going to communicate with each other and express himself or herself. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. මේක වටිනාකම තමයි ළමයාට confidence එකකින් එයා ගැන හඳුන්වා දෙන හැකියාවක් ඇති වෙනවා. දැන් ළමයාට නම බය නැතුව කියන්නත් එයාගේ වයස, එයා පුතෙක්ද දුවෙක්ද ඒක ලස්සනට කියන්න ළමයාට බය නැතුව කියන්න ළමයා මෙතන ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. 21st century skill එක ගත්තොත් ළමයා මෙතන සංනිවේදනයක් ඇති වෙනවා. අනිත් ළමයිත් එක්ක තමන්ගේ නම, තමන්ගේ වයස හැමදේම communication කරන්න අපිට මෙතන පුරුදු කරන්න පුළුවන්. Yes, miss.
மேம் வெலியூஸ் அது வந்து வெலியூஸ் சொன்னா வந்து பிள்ளை வந்து பெயரை பயம் இல்லாம சொல்ல கற்றுக்கொள்ளும். அடுத்தது வந்து 21st century ஸ்கில்ஸ்ல வந்து பிள்ளை வந்து அடுத்த பிள்ளையோட பெயரையும் சொல்லுறதுக்கு அது கற்றுக்கொள்ளும். அது வந்து ஒரு கம்யூனிகேஷன், ஒரு தொடர்பாடல் மூலம் அது வந்து கற்றுக்கொள்ளும் இந்த 21st century skills. Ma'am.
Next is multiple intelligence. Here, intrapersonal skills. The child is going to express himself or herself. So it's an intrapersonal skills and linguistic skills will be there. Here, one thing we have to understand is when we implement multiple intelligence, all other aspects are covered. Most of them will be covered. See, here in 21st century skills, we are more thinking of communication, collaboration, creativity. All these are completely in multiple intelligence. So once we focus on multiple intelligence, most of the aspects we can cover. SDG goals. Here, quality education. The child has to know himself or herself and where he or she stands. STEAM education. This I love a lot. Mirror reflection activity. The child has to bring, or the teacher can keep in a classroom where the child, he himself or herself, see, so that the child, every day we do look in the mirror, but when we give this as an activity, it is a totally different thing. Either we also should experience this activity. Morning, what we will do? As soon as we wake up, we have to get ready, so we will just look into the mirror. But if we look into the mirror purposefully, we will know who we are. So this activity is very important. Then here, self-portrait will be there. In the STEAM education, greening education, go for a nature walk. I am unique, like everyone. See, each and every plant is not the same. Every tree is not the same in the nature. Each one is unique. Here we can teach the rhyme saying, children, I am special, I am special. This is the rhyme that we can implement in our classroom. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Nice activities here given today. Actually, mirror reflection, very attractive, very nice. Ma'am,
From multiple intelligence, you please say, ma'am.
yeah. MI multiple intelligence එකේ MI focus එක ගන්න ඕනේ. දැන් එක එක ස්කිල් එකේ එක එක කොටස් තමයි අපි මෙතන ගන්න ඕනේ. එක එක ස්කිල් එකේ එක එක කොටස් ගත්තොත් අපිට ඒක ලස්සන සම්පූර්ණ කරන්න පුළුවන්. myself කියන ළමයා කතා කරන ළමයාගේ භාෂාමය වර්ධනයක් අපිට ඒතර දැක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. SDG එක ගත්තම culture education එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ළමයා ගැන බය නැතුව ලස්සන තමාගෙන ඇඳින්වීමක් තමාට කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. එතන quality education එකක් වෙන්නේ. STEAM education එක මම ලස්සන ක්‍රියාකාරකමක් අපිට දීලා තියෙනවා mirror reflection activity. ඒ කියන්නේ කණ්ණාඩියක් පන්තියට තියන්න පුළුවන් ළමයිට කණ්ණාඩියක් ගේන්නේ කියලා. ඒකේ ළමයාට බලන්න දීලා එයා කවුද කියන එක යාර පෙන්වන්න කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඇත්තම කියනවා නම් දැන් අපි උදේට කණ්ණාඩිය බලන්නේ හදිස්සියේ අපි බැලෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒත් අපි කවුද කියලා අපි නිදාසේ එක බැලුවොත් අපිටත් බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් අපි කවුද කියලා. බබාට ඒ ඇක්ටිවිටි එක කරන්න පුළුවන් ලස්සනට. බබා හැමදාම දකින්න බබා නෙමෙයි. එතනදී බබාට එතන පේන්නේ. බබාට අනිත් බබාට එක්ක විවිධ වෙනසකුත් බබාට තේරෙයි. ග්‍රීන් එඩියුකේෂන් එකට අපි නේචර් වොක් එකක් යන්න පුළුවන්. නේචර් වොක් එකක් ගියාම එතන ළමයින් පෙර දැන් කොළවල් ඔක්කොම වෙනස්. එක වගේ නෙමෙයි. ඒ වගේ තමයි මමත්. අනිත් ළමයි වගේ වෙනස්. මම දක්ෂයි. මට පුළුවන් හැමදේම කරන්න කියලා බබා ඇතුළට හොඳ ක්‍රියාකාරකමක් හැකියාවක් බබාගේ මනස දියුණු කිරීමක් මේ ග්‍රීන් එජුකේෂන් මගින් නේචර් වොක් එකකින් අපි ළමයන් ලබා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. මිස්
மேம் மல்டிபிள் இன்டெலிஜென்ட் அதுல வந்து தனிப்பட்ட நுண்ணறிவு ஒவ்வொரு மாணவர்கிட்டையும் ஒவ்வொரு அறிவு ஏற்படுத்துது இந்த மை செல்ஃப் இதன் மூலம். அடுத்தது வந்து எஸ்டிஜி, அது வந்து தரமான கல்வி. இங்க வந்து குழந்தை வந்து பயமில்லாம இந்த சுதந்திரமா பேசுது. அது வந்து மை செல்ஃப் எஸ்டிஜிய இதுல வந்து ஏற்படுத்த முடியும். அடுத்தது வந்து ஸ்டீம் எஜுகேஷன், அதுல வந்து கண்ணாடியை பார்த்து பேசுறது. நான் யாருன்னு சொல்லி அது அந்த குழந்தை வந்து அந்த கண்ணாடியை பார்க்குது. அந்த நேரம் வந்து என்னை பத்தி எங்களை பத்தி வந்து கண்ணாடியை பார்க்கக்கிட்டு அது வந்து ஒரு அழகான ஒரு ஆக்டிவிட்டியா இருக்கும். அடுத்தது வந்து கிரீனிங் எஜுகேஷன், அது வந்து நேச்சர் ஒர்க், களப்பயணம். அது வந்து வெளியேற கூட்டு போற நேரத்துக்கு வந்து ஒவ்வொரு தாவரம் ஒவ்வொரு மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஓ எஸ், கிளியர் ஆகிக்குதா மேம்?
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, I could not stop myself singing a rhyme. I am special. I am special. God made me. God made me. Someone is very special. Someone is very special. That is me. That is me. Here the child is getting the value of self-awareness. Team is also there, and we are focusing on the value, and spirituality is also implemented in one single rhyme. Yes, Shiroza ma'am. Okay. Let me continue for the next day. That is my family. Here the learning outcome is identifying the family members and their roles. You can just keep very simple learning outcome. Need not be big words and where we will not be able to achieve it. Values, love, respect, and gratitude. 21st century skills, social interaction. Yes, here we can give an activity saying you will have to go and interview your parents. Give a small talk or topic where the child has to go and speak to their parents, and the next day the child has to come back with that interaction. This what happens is collaboration will be there. 21st century skills is implemented. Here, what I would like to say is, one thing, the practical, your time to time, whatever you had prepared, your day plan, first you will have to prepare that and go for all these learning outcomes, values, 21st century skills, whatever the aspects are there. Or you will have to first complete all these learning outcomes, values, 21st century skills, all these aspects, and you will have to connect to the activity. You will have to find the activity for the aspects that you have written in your lesson plans. Yes, ma'am. Shiroza ma'am, are you there? Fasmina ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can please continue.
Myself வந்து எங்களோட தீம்ல வந்து myself செவ்வாய்க்கிழமைக்கு ஒரு தீம்ல வந்து சப் தீம் வந்து மை ஃபேமிலி. அது வந்து செவ்வாய்க்கிழமைக்கு நாங்கள் செய்த ஆக்டிவிட்டி. அதில் வந்து லேர்னிங் அவுட்கம். அது வந்து எங்களோட குடும்பத்தை வந்து நாங்கள் அறிமுகப்படுத்துவது வந்து. அடுத்தது வந்து வேல்யூஸ், மதிப்பு. அது வந்து அன்பு, ரெஸ்பெக்ட், அந்த இதெல்லாம் அந்த குடும்பத்துல வந்து ஏற்படுத்துது. அது வந்து நாங்க மாணவர்கள்ட்ட வந்து விளக்கப்படுத்த முடியும். அடுத்தது வந்து 21st ஸ்கில்ஸ், செஞ்சுரி ஸ்கில்ஸ். அதுல வந்து சமூகம், ஒத்துழைப்பு அது வந்து ஏற்படுத்துது மை ஃபேமிலியில வந்து. மேம்.
Yes, ma'am. I'm there. The next is multiple intelligence that is focused will be interpersonal. Since there is a social interaction, interpersonal skills are also there, and language skills also can be improved in the child. SDG goals is peace in strong institutions. Here, the child has to have more of values. We have to instill in the children how to respect the parents, how to obey them. All these small aspects has to be given to the children through the stories. STEAM education is family tree, and we can help children to play a role of a father, mother. Then greening education, plant a family tree. Here we can ask everyone together to plant a tree. Yes, ma'am.
மேம்
Fasmina
சரோசா
ma'am.
மேம். மேம். அடுத்தது வந்து மல்டிபிள் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ். அது வந்து தனிப்பட்ட நுண்ணறிவு, மொழி அறிவு, அது ரெண்டும் மை ஃபேமிலியில வந்து ஏற்படுத்துது. அது வந்து நாங்கள் கதைக்கிற நேரம் மாணவர்களோட வந்து அது வந்து தனிப்பட்ட நுண்ணறிவும் மொழி அறிவும் ஏற்படுத்துது. அடுத்தது வந்து எஸ்டிஜி கோல் வந்து எஸ்டிஜி 16 கோல். எங்களோட கோல் அமைதி, நீதி மற்றும் வலுவான நிறுவனங்களூடாக எவ்வாறு செயற்படுத்துவது, அதை வந்து எங்களுக்கு எட் பண்ணேலும் இந்த மை ஃபேமிலியில வந்து. அடுத்து வந்து ஸ்டீம் எடியூகேஷன். அது வந்து ஃபேமிலி ட்ரீ. அது வந்து எங்களுக்கு அது ஒரு ஆக்டிவிட்டியா எங்களுக்கு செய்யலும். அடுத்தது வந்து ரோல் பிளே, அதுவும் செய்யலும். கிரீனிங் எடியூகேஷன்ற வந்து ஒரு மரம், ஃபேமிலி ட்ரீ ஒன்று எங்களுக்கு வந்து செய்யலும். அதை வந்து மேம் எங்களுக்கு சொல்லித்தராங்க. மேம்.
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute. Shirosa ma'am, if you can raise your hand, please, so that I can unmute you. Okay. The third day is my relatives. The child is going to know the extended family, about the grandparents and uncles, aunts. They will have to hear the preparation has to be there beforehand, where the child will paste their pictures, family pictures, so that it is easy for us also to help them learn. Your bonding, appreciation, how we will have to behave, how we will have to obey, all these values can be instilled. Communication and social skills. Then, multiple intelligence is interpersonal, logical, and mathematical. SDG goals, inequalities. We should not have inequalities in everyone. So, here also, it is not necessary that you will have to take this as a goal. What you can do is, for myself, if you have chosen peace and strong institution for the complete week, please go ahead with the same SDG goal. STEAM education is sorting the activity. That is, the relatives, they can, all the photos can be clubbed and they can identify their relatives. And through the storytelling, we can help children to learn the values. Then, greening education, family heritage, and sustainability discussion can be done. Shirosa ma'am, if you can see if you can unmute now. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I had the coverage problem.
That's okay.
Okay. අද අපි දැන් කතා කරන්න අපි වෙන්ස්ඩේ ගැන. my relative ගත්තම ළමයින්ට තමන්ගේ පවුල extended පවුලයි නියුක්ලියර් පවුලයි අඳුරලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ විස්තృత පවුල න්‍යෂ්ටික පවුලයි. ඒ පවුල් වල වෙනස්කම් ඒ පවුල් එකට ජීවත් වෙන්නේ රිලේෂන් ඒක නෑකම් අපිට ළමයින්ට පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන්. එකට එක ජීවත් වීමේ ඒකේ තියෙන වටිනාකම ළමයිට ඒක අගය කිරීමක් අපි ලක් කරන්න ඕනේ. 21st century ගත්තම ළමයිට අපි කලින් කිව්වා වගේ මෑම් කිව්වා එකම ටොපික් එක එකම පොයින්ට් එක තමයි අපි සතියෙම ගන්න ඕනේ. කොමියුනිකේෂන් ස්කිල් එක, සෝෂල් ස්කිල් එක. කොමියුනිකේෂන් ස්කිල් එක ළමයිට අපි කතා කරනවා, ළමයිගෙන් අදහස් ගන්නවා, අනිත් ළමයිත් එක්ක අදහස් එකතු කර ගන්නවා. අපි මේ මල්ටිපල් ඉන්ටෙලිජන්ස් එකටත් එහෙම තමයි. මැතමැටිකල් එක, ලොජිකල් එක අපිට එකතු කර ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපි මුළු සතියෙම එකම ගෝල් එක තමයි තියාගන්න ඕනේ. මෑම් කියන්නේ SDG ගෝල් එක ගන්නකොට මුළු සතියේම එකම ගෝල් එක කරාන ළමයට හොඳට පැහැදිලිව අපි හැමදේම කරන්න පුළුවන්. STEAM education එක ගත්තම ඒකෙන් අපි ළමයිගේ අපේ රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක කොටස් වලට වෙන් කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ වෙන් කරනවා කියන්නේ අපේ පවුලේ සමාජිකයන් අපේ නැදෑයන් අම්මලගේ පවුලේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය තාත්තගේ පවුලේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය කොටස් වලට බෙදලා ළමයිත් එක්ක කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. කතාවක් මගින් එතන අපිට ආර්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා ළමයිත් එක්ක කතාවක් කියලා දෙනකොට ආර්ට් එක එතන නිකන් මෙතන එකතු වෙනවා. ග්‍රීන් එඩියුකේෂන් එකට අපිට ළමයට මේ පවුලේ තියෙන වටිනාකම ළමයිත් එක්ක අපිට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන්. personal miss
மேம் அடுத்து வந்து எங்களுக்கு வந்து புதன்கிழமை வந்து மை ரிலேட்டிவ் வந்து எங்கட வந்து மாமா மாமி அந்த மாதிரி உறவுகள் உள்ளதுதான் மை ரிலேட்டிவ்ஸ். அது வந்து புதன்கிழமைக்கு. லேர்னிங் அவுட்கம் வந்து எங்கட குடும்ப உறவுகள் வந்து அதை பத்தி எங்களுக்கு பேசுறது. அடுத்து வந்து 21st century வந்து எங்களோட தொடர் மாணவர்களோட பேசுறது, அடுத்த மாணவர்களோடையும் சேர்ந்து பேசுறது. அந்த நேரத்துக்கு ஒவ்வொருத்தர் அபிப்பிராயம் இன்னைக்கு பெற்றுக்கொள்ள முடியும். அடுத்தது வந்து SDG கோல் வந்து அது 10வது கோல், அது வந்து எட் பண்ணலும் எங்களுக்கு. அடுத்து வந்து ஸ்டீம் எஜுகேஷன், அதுல வந்து ஸ்டோரி டெல்லிங், அது கதை சொல்லுறது மூலம் எங்களோட தந்தை உறவு, தாய் வழி உறவு அதை பத்தி எங்களுக்கு பேசலும். அடுத்து வந்து கிரீனிங் எஜுகேஷன் எங்கட வந்து டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணலும். ஃபேமிலியை பத்தி டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ண ஹெரிட்டேஜ் அண்ட் சஸ்டைனபிலிட்டி டிஸ்கஷன். மேம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால என்ன?
சரி, நம்ம ஃபேமிலியோட பத்தி பேசுறது அவ்வளவுதான். சஸ்டைனபிலிட்டினா அந்த ஃபேமிலியில ஒற்றுமையா எப்படி இருக்கணும் அப்படின்றது. Okay.
சரி மேம்.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the Thursday, that is my hobbies. Before this, if anyone is having any doubts till now, I would request you to put your question in the chat box so that I can answer.
කාටවත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා නම් chat box එකේ දාන්නලු මෑම් ආන්සර් කරાવી.
Okay. On Thursday, my hobbies. Learning outcomes are expressing. And here, my hobbies and my interests, all these, this is the observation period. We cannot decide that the child's hobby is this because the child is just at a 4 to 5-year-old, 3 to 4-year-old. So we will have to observe the children more. We will have to help them build the hobby. That should be our intention. If somebody likes to play a cricket ball, or some might like to play with the shuttle, some may like to play with the ring, we will have to keep on observing and inform the parents also to build as a hobby what they like. Here, creativity will be there, self-exploration. We can have different varieties of activities, 10 activities at a time, and we can make sure that the child which selects more time, that interest might attract the child, so that we can inform the parents to build that hobby. Then 21st century skills, critical thinking will be there. If we keep 10 activities, 10 different activities, at a time, the child has to think and choose what he likes. And some activities may be very easy, some activities that has to be thought very critically. Here we will come to know how much the child will be able to think more and more. Some children will be very curious. Such type of children will choose the hard one. Some children who doesn't want to work more, they will go to the easiest activities always. That also we will have to think where the child, we will have to make sure that the child thinks more and more. Yes, ma'am. Till here you can explain. Okay, Shiroza ma'am, if you can raise your hand, please. By then, Fasmina ma'am can translate.
Yes, ma'am. இது தீம் வந்து மை செல்ஃப்ல வந்து சப் தீம் மை ஹாபி எனது பொழுதுபோக்கு. அதுல வந்து லேர்னிங் அவுட்கம், அதுல வந்து எக்ஸ்பிரஸிங் லைக்ஸ். அது விளக்கம் போதா மேம் எனக்கு இங்கிலீஷ்ல?
Okay, I will මම කියන්න. කවරේජ් ප්‍රොබ්ලම් එකක් තියෙනවා මිස් සමාව වෙන්න මම එකයි මේ එක්සිට් වෙවි ජොයින් වෙන්නේ. මයි හොබි එක ගත්තම මයි හොබි එකේ ළමයාගේ හොබි එක අපිට ළමයට හොබි එකක් නෑ ළමයින්ට. අපිට මේක තමයි ළමයේ හොබි එක කියලා ගන්න බෑ. ළමයාගේ ලයික්ස්, ළමයා මොකටද කැමති, ළමයා මොනවද ආසාවෙන් කරන්නේ, ගුරුවරු වශයෙන් අපි ඒක අඳුර ගන්න ඕන. ගොඩාක් ඇක්ටිවිටීස් ක්‍රියාකාරකම් ළමයට ලබා දීලා ළමයට එතනින් ළමයට තෝරගන්න පුළුවන්. ළමයා වැඩියෙන් මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? පාට කිරීමද මොකද්ද ළමයා වැඩියෙන් ආසාවෙන් කරන්නේ? අපි ඒක අපි දෙමව්පියන්ට කියන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ දෙමව්පියෝ ඒක තේරුම් අරගෙන දෙමව්පියන්ට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ හොබි එක විනෝදාංශයේ ඉස්සරහට ගෙනියන්න උදව් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඇත්තට චුරි බබාලට හොබි එකක් නෑ, හැම දෙයකම ආසයි. වැඩියෙන් ආසාව කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? ඒක අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකේ ක්‍රියේටිවිටි එක ගොඩාක් අපි ඒක ඉස්මතු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. 21st century එක ගත්තම ඇක්ටිවිටිස් කීපයක් අපි ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඇක්ටිවිටිස් කීපයකින් සමහර ඒවා ගොඩාක් ලේසි ඒවා, සමහර ඒවා අමාරු ඒවා, ක්‍රිටිකල් තින්කින් තර්කානුකූල හිතන්න ඕනේ. සමහර ඒවා ගොඩාක් ප්‍රොබ්ලම් සෝල්විං වගේ ප්‍රශ්නාර්ථක විසඳන්න ඕන දේවල්. ඒ වගේ ගොඩාක් ඇක්ටිවිටිස් තියලා ළමයා කොකටද වැඩියෙන් කැමති කරන්නේ, ළමයා කොකද වැඩියෙන් කරන්නේ, වැඩියෙන් ආසාවෙන් කරන්නේ කියලා අපිට මෙතන බලාගෙන දෙමව්පියෝ දැනුවත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ළමයා මේ අංශයෙන් තමයි වැඩි කැමැත්තක් දක්වන්නේ කියලා. Yes, Fasmina miss?
மேம் மை ஹாபியில வந்து மாணவர்களுக்கு வந்து பொழுதுபோக்குன்னு சொல்லி அவங்க விருப்பமானது ஒன்றைத்தான் நாங்க வந்து பெற்றோர்கள் பயன்படுத்தணுமாம். மாணவர்களுக்கு வந்து எது ஆசையோட செய்து அவங்க கலர் பண்ணதா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா கலர் பண்ண கொடுக்கணும். அதுதான் மாணவர்கள பொழுதுபோக்குண்டு மேம் சொல்றாங்க. அதுல வந்து 21st சென்ச்சுரி ஸ்கில்ஸ்டையும் அப்படித்தான் பிரச்சனை தீர்த்தல், அடுத்து கிரிட்டிக்கல் திங்கிங். இது வந்து மாணவர்கள் எது ஆசையோட செய்ததோ அதை வச்சுதான் மாணவர்களுக்கு நாங்க மை ஹாபி என்று சொல்லி கொடுக்கணும்னு மேம் சொல்றாங்க. மேம்.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Okay. Here, multiple intelligence focused also will be based on your activity. Otherwise, if you have written bodily kinesthetic, musical, and naturalistic, you will have to connect to your activity. Of course, when the child is singing rhymes, the child has to involve his or her bodily kinesthetic and songs. Naturalistic, we are going for a nature walk, means here naturalistic intelligence can also be focused. Here it all depends on the activity that we are choosing. Then SDG goals, good health and well-being. STEAM education, hobby corner. Here, as I said, we will have to have different types of activities at a time. How many times the child goes for the same activity, we will have to find out. This activity at home also, it is very much necessary to explore and understand the child for much better. Greening education, eco-friendly hobbies like gardening. We can implement all these and find out whether the child likes this or not. Yes, ma'am.
multiple intelligence එකේ අපිට දැන් මියුසිකල් එක නැචරලිස්ට් එක දෙකම කරගන්න පුළුවන්. අපි දැන් ළමයා මේ නේචර් වෝක් එකක් යනවනේ. එකක් ගියාම මේක නිකම්ම නැචරලිස්ට් එකට වැටෙන්නේ. මියුසිකල් ළමයා සින්දුවක් කියන නටනකොට ඒක ගන්නට වැටෙන්නේ. STG ගෝල් එක ගත්තොත් good healthy well being හොඳ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් ළමයට අපිට කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. STEM education එකටත් එමයයි අපි කලින් කිව්වා වගේ ළමයට විවිධ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් විවිධ ගණයේ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් ඒ කියන්නේ සමහර ඒවා අමාරු ඒවා ලේසි ඒවා ක්‍රියාකාරකම් ළමයා ඉදිරිපත් කරලා ළමයා වැඩියෙන් මොන ක්‍රියාකාරකමකටද කැමති වැඩි වාරයක් මොන ක්‍රියාකාරකමක්ද ළමයා කරන්නේ ඒ අනුව ඒ ක්‍රියාකාරකම ගෙදරත් ඒ වගේම කරන නම් ළමයාගේ ඒ ස්කිල් එක ගොඩාක් හොඳට දිනු කරගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා මෑම් කියනවා. ග්‍රීනින් එජුකේෂන් එකට අපිට ගාඩනින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකත් අර කලින් කිව්වා වගේ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් ගණේට දාන්න පුළුවන්. ගාඩන් එක. ඒ ගාඩන් එක මොන බබාද වැඩි ගස්වල කැමති ආදරය කරන්නේ. අපි ඒක බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් ළමයාගේ හොබි එක සිලෙක්ට් කරන්න. ප්‍රශ්න මිස්.
எஸ் மேம். அடுத்து வந்து எஸ்டிஜி கோல், அது வந்து கோல் 3 குட் அண்ட் ஹெல்த் அண்ட் வெல் பீயிங். அது வந்து நல்ல ஆரோக்கியம் மற்றும் நல்வாழ்வு, அதை வந்து எட் பண்ணலும். அடுத்து வந்து ஸ்டீம் எஜுகேஷன், அது வந்து நேச்சர் ஒர்க் செல்ற நேரத்துக்கு அது வந்து எங்களுக்கு வந்து ஸ்டீம் எஜுகேஷன் அதை வந்து எட் பண்ணலும். அது அடுத்தது வந்து கிரீனிங் எஜுகேஷன், இது வந்து கார்டன் ஒன்று செய்யலும். மாணவர்கள் வந்து எந்த ஆக்டிவிட்டிக்கு விருப்பமோ அந்த முறையில வந்து மாணவர்களை எங்களுக்கு அந்த வழியில வந்து எங்களுக்கு மாணவர்களை கொண்டு போகலும்னு மேம் சொல்றாங்க. மாணவர்களின் விருப்பத்துக்கு ஏற்றது மாதிரி சித்திரம் வரையலும் நலாக்கம் அந்த மாதிரி எந்த முறையில அவங்க விருப்பமோ அந்த முறையில வந்து மாணவர்களை செயற்படுத்த முடியும்னு மை ஹாபீஸ் வந்து மேம் சொல்லி தராங்க. மேம்.
Thank you, ma'am. Safana ma'am has asked SDG 10 meaning. Reduced inequalities. According to me, it is it might be gender inequality or the gap between the community and the people, all these has to be reduced. Everyone should have an equal approach. That is what the meaning of SDG 10.
SDG 10 කියන්නේ දැන් අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න ඕනේ අපේ කටයුතු ඒ වගේ මොකද්ද මෙතන අඩු කළ යුතුයි මොකද්ද වැඩි කළ යුතුයි සමානව හැමෝටම බෙදලා යන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද එකින් එක ඒක SDG goal එක 10 එක කොටස් වල තියෙනවා මම අපිට ඒක විස්තර කරලා අපිට ඉගෙනුවා එකින් එක කලින් දීපු chart එකේ තියෙනවා එකින් එක සමානව කළ යුතුද වැඩි කළ යුතුද මොකද අඩු කළ යුතුද ක්‍රියාකලාප එකින් එක එතන ඇඳීමක් තියෙනවා අපිට. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. சொல்லுங்க.
SDG 10 வந்து குறைக்கப்பட்ட ஏற்றத்தாழ்வுகளை எவ்வாறு மாணவர் மத்தியில் கொண்டு செல்லல். அதான் மேம் எங்களுக்கு படிச்சு தந்த அந்த SDG கோல் வந்து 10. அது வந்து ரெடியூசிங்
Inequalities.
இனிக்வாலிட்டி. அதுக்கு வந்து இது இந்த முறையில எங்களுக்கு மேம் வந்து படிச்சு தந்திக்கிறாங்க அதை வந்து உங்களுக்கு பார்த்துக்கொள்ளேன் மேம்.
Okay. The last, that is Friday, we are going to find out the talent of a child. We can have a parade and know the talents with the help of the parents, or by giving the forms we may know the talent of the child. We will have to recognize the personal strength. This is the learning outcome of the day. Values, self-esteem and motivation. 21st century skills is innovation and leadership. Each and every one is unique. We will have to bring their talents out. Multiple intelligence is visual spatial, because the child will be having varieties of talents when they are presenting on the stage. Visual spatial will be there, musical will be there, logical, mathematical, all these intelligences can be focused at a time. Since if there is a parade on that day, we can have varieties of activities. SDG goals, here again, decent, I just have linked this, but I would request that if you are going to have one goal, it can be peace or it can be good health and well-being. Myself, when it comes to myself, good health and well-being is very important. You can take a single goal and completely go for that goal on every day for that same week. Here, how I connected this decent work and economic growth is each and everyone will have their own talents. When we show up our talents while we grow, whether it can become a hobby or we can earn from it. Then STEAM education is talent show. As I said, we can have a parade and we can have do-it-yourself crafts also. Greening education is using natural resources for creative projects. This is not necessary that greening education for every day, every theme, we have to connect it. Not at all necessary, because in some places we will have to use the resources that are available also, which has to be used, non-biodegradable also. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. සිකුරාදා දවසේ ළමයාගේ දක්ෂතාවය තමයි අපි බලන්නේ. එතකොට ළමයාගේ අපි අඳුර ගන්න ඕනේ ළමයාගේ පෞද්ගලික ශක්තිය, පෞද්ගලික හැකියාව. අපි දැන් කලින් කරපු ක්‍රියාකාරකම් වලින් අපිට ඒක අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඊට පස්සේ ළමයි අපි උනන්දු කරන්න ඕනේ. මොටිවේෂන් එකක් කරන්න අනිවාර්යෙන්. එතකොට ළමයි එයාගේ දක්ෂතාවය තවත් ඉදිරියට කරගෙන යන්න අපි ළමයිට උදව් කරන්න ඕනේ. දෙමාපියෝ දැනුවත් කරන්නත් ඕනේ. 21st century skill එකට ළමයිට leadership එකක්. දැන් මේක අපි leadership එක ළමයිට දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක නවීකරණය කරගෙන leadership එක බබාලට ඉස්සරහට යන්න ආදර දෙන්න පුළුවන්. multiple intelligence එකට logical, mathematics, musical, visual, spatial ඒවා අපි ළමයිට කරන්න පුළුවන්. අපි අර කලින් කිව්වා වගේ මෑම් කිව්වා වගේ මේ multiple intelligence එකටත් SDG goal එකටත් එකම දේ අපි කරා නම් එක සතියකට මෑම් දැන් විවිධ දෙන්නේ එක අපිට examples දෙන්නේ. ඒ ඔක්කොම කරන්නයි කියන්නේ නෑ. අපිට තියෙන එකක් තෝරගෙන එකක් විතරක් ඒ සතියෙම කරා නම් අපිට ලස්සනට කරන්න පුළුවන්. SDG goal එකට මෑම් ගොඩක් කැමතිලු myself එකට good healthy and well being. good healthy and well being කරා නම් ඒක ළමයට ඒක ලස්සනට ළමයාගේ සෞඛ්‍ය පුරුදු ඔක්කොම මුළු සතියෙම අපි ළමයට කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ටීම් এডুকেෂන් එකට අපි ටැලන්ට් ෂෙයා කරන්න පුළුවන්, ක්‍රාෆ්ට් වර්ක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ ටැලන්ට් ෂෝ එකෙන් බබාගේ අර තැඟවිච්ච දක්ෂතා ඔක්කොම මෙතනින් අපිට ඉස්මතු කරලා පෙන්නන්න පුළුවන්. ග්‍රීන් এডুকেෂන් එකට ළමයි ක්‍රාෆ්ට් වර්ක් කරනකොට මොකක් හරි නිර්මාණයක් කරනකොට පරිසරයෙන් ලබාගත් දේවල් කරන්නලු. ඒ වගේ මේ ග්‍රීන් এডুকেෂන් එක හැමදාම එකින් එකට අපිට කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. අපි සතියෙම දවසට කරොත් විතරක් ඇති කියලා මෑම් කියනවා. පස්මිනා මිස්.
Yes, ma'am. இது வந்து மை செல்ஃப்ல வந்து வெள்ளிக்கிழமைக்கு மை டேலண்ட் மாணவர்கள திறமை அதை வந்து அந்த திறமையை கண்டு கொண்டு அதில் வந்து தலைமைத்துவம் ஒன்றை கற்றுக் கொடுக்கலும். அடுத்தது வந்து இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் அதில் வந்து இடம் சார்ந்த இசை சார்ந்த கணித நுண்ணறிவு அதெல்லாம் பெற்றுக் கொடுக்குற மாதிரி உண்டு. எங்களுக்கு வந்து மேம் ஒரு அறிவு ஒரு நுண்ணறிவு எடுத்தா போதும்னு சொல்றாங்க. அடுத்து வந்து எஸ்டிஜி கோல் அதுல வந்து 8 அது ஒழுக்கமான மற்றும் பொருளாதாரம், ஒழுக்கமான வேலை மற்றும் பொருளாதாரம், அதுதான் எஸ்டிஜி கோல் 8. அதுல வந்து அதை எட் பண்ணலும். அடுத்தது வந்து ஸ்டீம்ல வந்து டேலண்ட் ஷோ ஒன்று செய்யலும். அடுத்தது வந்து கிராஃப்ட் செஞ்சு மாணவர்கள் ஆக்டிவிட்டியை செஞ்சு அவங்களோட திறமையை வெளிப்படுத்தலும். அது மாதிரி மேம் சொல்றாங்க இந்த வகையில வந்து எங்களுக்கு இந்த மை செல்ஃப்ல வந்து மாணவர்களின் திறமையை வந்து வெளிப்படுத்த முடியும்னு மேம் எங்களுக்கு சொல்றாங்க. மேம்.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. If any teachers would like to speak or if you're having any doubts, I would request. And for my motivation, I would request if you have anything, what is the learning that you had in today's session, you can write, you need not type, you can just write in a sheet of paper and send it to us. That would be a great help for me also for the next session's motivation. Thank you.
මෑම් කියනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ අදහස් මෙතන ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නලු. ඒ වගේ මෑම් කියන ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මේ අදහස එයාට කොලයක ලියලා එහෙම දැම්මත් එයා ගොඩාක් හොඳයිලු. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට අනිත් සෙෂන් එක කරනකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ අඩුපාඩු ඒ ඔක්කොම අදාගෙන ලස්සන කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. ඒක නිසා මේ ගැන ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මොකක්ද හිතෙන්නේ අද සෙෂන් එක ගැන? ඒකේ සාර්ථකත්වයේ ඔයගොල්ලන් දැනන දේ, ඒකේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගත්ත දේ මොකද්ද? ඒක කොලයක ලියලා අපිට WhatsApp කරන්න.
மேம் சொல்றாங்க வந்து மேம் அந்த இந்த பாடம் சம்பந்தமான ஒரு விளக்கத்தை வந்து ஒரு பேப்பர்ல எழுதி வாட்ஸ்அப் சரி அனுப்பட்டாம். மேமுக்கும் இதை பத்தின ஒரு விளக்கம் நல்லமா இதை பத்தி உங்களுக்கு விளங்கிக்குதா அதை பத்தி வந்து மேம் சொல்றாங்க உங்களோட அந்த அபிப்பிராயத்தை வந்து மேமுக்கு அனுப்பட்டாம். மேம் உங்களோட இந்த ஆக்டிவிட்டி அப்படி நல்லா இருக்குது. இலகுவான ஒரு முறையில வந்து எங்களுக்கு வந்து படிச்சு தந்திக்கீங்க. எங்களுக்கு வந்து அடுத்த கிழமைக்கு வந்து இந்த ஆக்டிவிட்டி செய்ய மிகவும் இலகுவா இருக்கும். மேம் தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் மேம்.
Thank you everyone.
Yes, ma'am. We got a lot of ideas to do our activities, our next week, coming week activities. So different activities we learn from here. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I would request those who are present here, along with that, I would request you, what are the problems that you're facing? If you write to us, we will better understand and we will solve those problems also. Thank you.
මම කියන ලෙසන් ප්ලෑනින් කරනකොට අපිට ආපු ප්‍රශ්න අපිට මතුණු ගැටලු ඒක යාට ඉදිරිපත් කරන්නලු. එතකොට යාට ඒක ලැබෙන සතියේ ඒ ප්‍රශ්න විසඳලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්ලු. ටීචර්ස්ලා පුළුවන් නම් ඔයගලගේ ප්‍රශ්න ඔයගලන්ට ආපු ගැටලු ඒක මෑම්ට ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න. එතකොට ලැබෙන සතියේ අපේ මේ සෙෂන් එක අපිට ලස්සනට කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. සුස්මිනා
மேம் மேம் சொல்றாங்க வந்து உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது இந்த லெசன் பிளான்ல செய்த நேரம் உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை இருந்தாலும் உங்களுக்கு விளங்காட்டி மேமுக்கு வந்து அறிய தரட்டாம் அடுத்த கிழமை மேம் இதை பத்தி விளங்கப்படுத்துகிறதாம். உங்களோட இது பிரச்சனை தெரியா விளக்கம் போதான்னு சொன்னா மேமுக்கு நீங்க மெசேஜ் வந்து கொடுங்க. எஸ் மேம்.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful opportunity to be with the teachers who are helping for the children. Thank you so much, Kamal Goda sir, for the opportunity.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I think so it's not there, ma'am. Thank you very
Yes.
much, ma'am. Actually, you are doing great help for us. Thank you, ma'am. We are learning from you. Lot of things we got. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
தேங்க்யூ மேம். நன்றி மேம்.
Thank you.